It's got so much history, this event. Just about every great competitive surfer that's ever lived has made the pilgrimage here to Bells. As a whole, this venue, I think, is one of the most special locations on tour because of the history of the event.
The break is called Bells Beach because the original farming family, their surname was Bell, so the Bell family owned the land there, so it became known as Bells Beach. The Rip Curl Pro, well, when it went pro, was 1973, and pre that it was known as the Old Bells Beach Easter Rally. So it's got tradition and history. It's the longest running event in the world.
Bells before the car park was paved was unbelievable because the whole thing was mud and cars would get bogged on the cliff here. And you'd look up and there'd be like a bus. They used to drive a bus down here, and that was the headquarters for the contest, a double-decker bus. It was the lamest headquarters ever because it was totally freezing cold and rain would get into the bus and the judges would be sitting up there just grimacing, and you could tell they were having as hard a time as the surfers. But for some reason, people just kept coming back.
The first year the Bell was presented was 1968, and the actual origin of the Bell Trophy hasn't been solved completely.
You look back at the history of it, MR won a few, Aki's won out here, Curran, Carroll, Simon, Damien Hardman, Barton Lynch, all world champions, you know, and that's just sort of the guys before us, really. You know, you look at the modern generation, Parko's won, Andy's won, Taj has won, Fanning's won. Nicky Woods was arguably the one guy who wasn't in that group. He was 16 years old when he won it. He was probably the most legendary 16-year-old surfer of all time.
It does definitely have, I guess, a lot of history and a lot of soul, I guess. Sort of think all the great surfers that have walked down the steps there and competed there and surfed there in the past.
When I first got introduced to Bells, it was just Aki and Curran going mad.
That was just such good surfing. You know, if those guys were doing it right now at the bowl, they'd be really, really hard to beat. That was just timeless.
When I was a kid, you know, I used to read the surf magazines, and Bells always seemed to be big and offshore and perfect.